We're looking at homework for section 9.2. This is question number 6. The accompanying data are the length in centimeters and girths in centimeters of 12 harbor seals. Find the equation of the regression line. Then construct a scatter plot of the data and draw the regression line. Then use the regression line to predict the value of y for each of the given x values, if meaningful. If the x value is not meaningful to predict the value of y, explain why not. So first, they want us to find the regression line, and we're going to use a table to organize our process. These numbers are a little bit big, but that's okay. We'll get through it. We start with a row for x's and the row for y's, already all filled out from the information that we were given above. And now we need to fill out the row for x times y, and the row for the x squareds. Then when we have all that information, we'll find the sum of each one of those rows. So let's start with the x times y's. 136 times 105 is 14,280. 168 times 129 is 21,672. 151 times 115 is 17,365. 144 times 106 is 15,264. 159 times 125 is 19,875. 158 times 120 is 18,960. 125 times 102 is 12,750. 137 times 104 is 14,248. 155 times 121 is 18,755. 148 times 111 is 16,428. 148 times 107 is 15,836. And 145 times 110 is 15,950. Then we need to square each of the x values. So 136 squared is 18,496. 168 squared is 28,224. 151 squared is 22,801. 144 squared is 20,736. 159 squared is 25,281. 158 squared is 24,964. 125 squared is 15,625. 137 squared is 18,769. 155 squared is 24,025. 148 squared is 21,904. 148 squared again is 21,904. And 145 squared is 21,025. So now we have each one of our rows complete. We need to find the sum of those rows. So the sum of the x's is 1774. The sum of the y's is 1355. The sum of the x times y's is 201,383. And the sum of the x squareds is 263,754. So we need those values to continue the process to find the values of m and b. So we'll keep those values here to the left as a reference as we try to find m. The formula for m is that m equals n times the sum of x times y's minus the sum of the x's times the sum of the y's divided by n times the sum of the x squareds minus the sum of the x's squared. We start to insert the values that we have from the table on the left, remembering that n is the number of data points, and in this problem we have 12 data points. So that's going to be 12 times the sum of the xy's, which is 201,383. The sum of the x's times the sum of the y's is 1774 times 1355 over n times the sum of the x squareds is 12 times 263,754 minus the sum of the x's squared is 1774 squared. We do each one of those four multiplications. 12 times 201,383 is given by 2,416,596 minus, when we multiply the 1774 and the 1355, we get 2,403,770, so that's our numerator, minus, in the denominator, we have 12 times 263,754, which is 3,165,048, minus 1774 squared, which is 3,147,076, and those two numbers are in our denominator. We do those two subtractions, and we end up with 12,826 over 17,972, which reduces to 6413 over 8986, and as a decimal, it's 0.71. We were asked to round to 2 decimal places above. So we'll fill in the m in our regression line equation. Now we want to find b. To find b, we have the formula sigma y over n minus m times sigma x over n. Remember that the m we just found was that fraction at the end. We don't want to use the decimal because we don't want to use an inaccurate value. So the sum of the y's is 1355 over 12 minus the m value we just found was 6413 over 8986 times the sum of the x's, which was 1774 over the n, which is 12. We multiply here and simplify to a decimal using our calculator, and we get 7.41, which is the value of b rounded to 2 decimal places. Once we have that regression line equation, we need to choose the correct graph. So when we look at this, our regression line should be a straight line that approximates the path of the points. So that eliminates choice B, because choice B wasn't a straight line. And when we look at graph D, the line doesn't travel with those points and approximate their motion, so D is eliminated. Then, when we're trying to choose between graphs A and C, we realize that the regression line equation should travel through the points that it is predicting, not on one side or the other of the points. It should be in the midst of those points. So when we look at these two graphs, graph A and graph C, the line for graph A is traveling within the points, whereas the line in graph C is above the points. So since the graph should be in the midst of the points, that eliminates graph C. So the correct choice here is answer A. Then we're supposed to make some predictions. Predict the girth for a length of 140 centimeters if it is meaningful. Select the correct choice below and, if necessary, fill in the answer box with your choice. So, meaningful means that it falls within the range of the x's that we were given in the original problem. The minimum x value that we had was 125, and the maximum x value that we had was 168. So as long as the x's that were given fall between 125 and 168, then the prediction should be meaningful. So the value we're given here is 140. That falls within the correct range. And so we're going to go ahead and insert it into this new equation that we just built. Y equals 0.71x plus 7.41. We replace the x with 140. And when we multiply, we get 99.4 plus 7.41, which when we add those together, we get 106.81. And that is choice A, and we fill in 106.81 centimeters. For part B, predict the girth for a length of 172 centimeters if it is meaningful. Select the correct choice below, and if necessary, fill in the answer box within your choice. So, this time we're not meaningful, because for the regression equation to be a good predictor of the y value, the x value must fall within the range of the original data values, in this case 125 and 168. So because 172 falls outside of the range between 125 and 168, then this is not going to be meaningful. For part C, predict the girth for a length of 164 centimeters if it is meaningful. Select the correct choice below, and if necessary, fill in the answer box within your choice. 164 does fall between 125 and 168, so we'll go ahead and plug in that value to our y hat equation. we get 0.71 times 164 plus 7.41. We multiply out the 0.71 times 164, and we get 116.44, then plus 7.41. And when we add those together, we get 123.85. So the correct choice here is answer A, and we fill in the 123.85. So last but not least, part D, predict the girth for a length of 158 centimeters if it is meaningful. Select the correct choice below, and if necessary, fill in the answer box with your choice. So this time 158 falls within the range between 125 and 168. And so we'll proceed. Y hat equals 0.71x plus 7.41. We'll replace the x with 158, so we get 0.71 times 158 plus 7.41, which is 112.18 plus 7.41. And when we combine those together, we get 119.59. So the correct answer here is choice A, and we fill in the box with 119.59. And that's your answer.